Introduction to Power Pivot 2013 Fundamentals. Let's go back and remember what it was prior to Power Pivot era. Before, you used to use probably SQL Server analysis services. There were very few self-service BI tools out there. And with time, that has changed greatly. The first version of Power Pivot on 2010 came out. This led to many other ideas which introduced us into what is now known as Power BI, Power Business Intelligence, which is a suite of tools that is one conformed by Power Pivot, the other one is Power View and Power Maps. The strategy that has been leading us into all these has been cloud first, on-premise after. And here we are. We have now Power Pivot 2013, which is available for you to download or depending on your license agreements. And the 2013, which is the one we will be covering here. We will not be discussing much of Power Pivot 2010, but we will be focusing on the 2013 version. So if you are familiar with the previous version, you probably are thinking, why is it different wording than before? So to Power Pivot without a space or Power Pivot with a space. Well, they decided to change the wording because of the Power BI initiative. And that is what we have now, this separate space in two words. All that is where it changed. What is Power Pivot? It is a free add-in for Microsoft Excel 2010 and 13. As mentioned before, it is part of the Power BI suite, or trio, depending how you like to name it. Also of the Self-Service BI initiative. You do need Microsoft Excel, or depending on your agreement, Professional Plus or Office 365 Pro Plus. You are encouraged to talk to your IT administrators and professionals to help you out, figure out how. And you can get these either through download or installed on your machine. What is the importance of Power Pivot? Well, you're here for one reason. You want to use data that exists out there. The majority of the times, your data is not in one single format, meaning it's not only in a text file, in SQL Server, in Access, in Analysis Services, in a cube. Most of the time, they will be all in disparate systems. And that's one of the beauties of Power Pivot. It helps you integrate them together, bring them under one single roof tool so that you can analyze it. One of the biggest things that you will end up using, and you've probably done that in the past, is handling large amount of data, merging that with your knowledge of Excel, and turning that into a very useful analysis tool. Now, the nice thing about it too is, don't forget the portability, reusability. Because it's all contained in one workbook, you're able to share it, move it around, either, while not recommendable, email. That's one of the possible ways, cloud storage, depending on your corporate policies, or your file share, and even better yet, through SharePoint in itself. What is the new functionality that you can expect on Power Pivot 2013, particularly if you were familiar with the 2010 version? Well, data models. It is now part of your workbook and included. You have also engine improvements. Now, this really will help you dive through more data, import more data, and sift through it very quickly. Why? Because they've done also data compression for whenever you store it, and it is kept within your workbook. Now, this is something big. It was not part of it before. It supports more languages now, all 40. And if you're using 64-bit, which is the best way to go, larger file sizes. Last but not least, your advanced mode is now the new default view. For those who are new to 2013, this will just be right intuitive for you, but for the 2010, this can be a little bit different. For more of these details, you can navigate towards the Power Pivot link, What's New in Power Pivot for Excel 2013, and find all the details available, or reference your downloads in this module section. So you're probably wondering right now, where is the place of Power Pivot 2013 in all of this structure of BI, business intelligence? Well, there are three usually known initiatives: the individually managed, community managed, and IT managed. What do these really mean? Power Pivot is the glue that allows all of these to interact together. And why? One of them is SharePoint, where the community managed was mentioned. This one is used largely to share your workbooks, surface data that is available in other disparate systems. Your IT managed one is usually thought of and referred to as SQL Server and analysis services containing relational databases and or your cubes. So you see these two arrows that interact back and forth between the community managed and the IT managed. What this allows you to do from the Excel Power Pivot 2013 standpoint is you can interact with both. You can import data from either of these managed communities, from IT or for the community one, giving you a lot more power of crunching data. In other words, you can manage multiple data sources, which we will see further beyond in our modules. So what is a pivot table? Well, it is definitely a table. That's what you're thinking there. You're right on track. But it's much more interactive than your usual thought pattern. It gives you organization. You can organize the columns depending on your train of thought or how you would like to present them to your end user, other users that you're going to be sharing the data with. Extracting the data from sources. Because you're compiling it, you're summarizing it, putting it together in a specific sense. That might be through industry, that might be for your company needs, your department needs, leading you into comparing it with other sources of data and how they relate to those as well. Lastly, you're going to be able to see that you can discover more either faults, ideas, or patterns, trends, by putting them all together, which is the main point of analyzing data. So how do we get to configure Power Pivot? Well, in order to get to Power Pivot, you definitely have to rely on Office. The installation of Office can be done in a couple of ways. On the desktop, in which you're familiar most of the time, you control the updates. Why? You can decide if either you or IT decide for you the updates are done and how they're handled, which is great. Most of the time, they're very well kept up to date, and they're done for a reason, a specific reason that has passed through multiple tests and thoroughly checked. Now, this one is click to run, sometimes even referred to the cloud-based one. Really what it is you are deploying it on the desktop, but it gets automatically updated. Now, this could be a sword of two edges here. Why? You are not controlling the updates. They're being done for you. Now, that also means that those updates might not have been tested that thoroughly, leading to some problems in your workbook and how Office itself works. It is strongly encouraged for you to really decide which is the best approach. And look, you can find more details on Click to Run Office 2013 on the internet and through the links of this module. So how do you get to enabling Power Pivot? Well, the first thing you need is you definitely need Microsoft Office Professional Plus or Office 365 Pro Plus. They both are available depending on the Microsoft Enterprise Agreement you have with. Either way, these are the two options you have. They might have changed since they are updated all the time, so you might have some additional requirements or less requirements depending on your needs and your company's. Now let's take a look at how we would enable Power Pivot 2013 in Excel 2013. Let's open up Excel 2013 and click Blank Workbook. Notice we don't have anything that says Power Pivot here, and that's because it hasn't been enabled or configured. Let's click on the File tab and go to Options. Notice on your left-hand navigation, Add-ins, right almost to the bottom. Click on it, and to the bottom you'll see a drop-down. Click on the Excel add-ins where it's usually named and choose COM add-ins, clicking the Go button. The add-ins that are pre-installed for you will be readily available here. These can be pre-installed for a couple of reasons. Either you ran the add-in installer or it already came with your installation. Either way, once any of those methods happened, you can click Microsoft Office Power Pivot for Excel 2013. It should be available to you there. Once you do that, notice your tabs on the top. You'll click OK, and now it is available to you. We click on Power Pivot, and notice its tab is enabled and ready to be used.